What's up? I'm Skilla, and this is Nerd Stuff with Skilla. And today I want to talk about the third episode of American Horror Story Cult. This episode does not have a lot of scary moments in it like the previous two episodes, but it did give us a lot more substance than I think the second episode in the season did. We begin with this woman named Rosie telling Dr. Vincent that she feels that she's conquered her fear of enclosed spaces or being locked in small spaces. Then we see her and her husband go home, where they are attacked by the reoccurring cast of clowns, who then lock them inside coffins and let them suffocate in there, which I think draws our first actual concrete line between the Doctor and clown shenanigans. Just saw a ghost-haired Jack Samuels is at Allie and Ivy's house after Pedro was shot. And he's telling Allie that she probably doesn't have anything to worry about because there is a stand your ground law in their state. As a little bit of foreshadowing for what she gets called later on in the episode. He does take the gun away for evidence, but he thinks that she's probably not going to have to be convicted with anything over this. We find out that not only does a group of townspeople think that Allie is racist, but also the neighbors think she's racist. They show up at her house with sombreros on, accusing her of being overly privileged and racist and stuff. Now, while she is probably overly privileged, I don't think that she's a racist. I don't think that she's shown any evidence of racism. She's shown a lack of concern about minorities via her comments about her housekeeper in the first episode. She just kind of was like, well, she got deported or ran away, we don't know, and then she never speaks of her again, showing me that she really didn't give a shit about her housekeeper or her well-being. Kai appears 4 times in this episode. 2 of those times, it's at Allie's side when she's in her vehicle, and 2 of those times, it's in a Pinky Promise session. The 2 times that he meets up with Allie while she's in her vehicle, he tells her that she's brave and that he supports what she did and doesn't think that she should feel bad for it. And one of those times, she is surrounded by a crowd of protesters, and Kai has them all leave with just a word. I think he just says enough. He comes up and taps somebody on the shoulder and says enough, or that's enough. And they all disperse. Like, maybe he put them there. Maybe he sent protesters to try and harass them. I think that's a definite possibility. And both times that he sees her, he tells her to have a nice day. The neighborhood is being sprayed by these big tank-like trucks using this crazy green gas. At one point, it almost runs Allie over. This gas reminds me of the fear toxin that Scarecrow uses in the Batman comics. I don't know if that struck a chord with anybody else, but it kind of made me think of that. I don't know if that's what it symbolizes or if it's something else, but it would be interesting if it was kind of a version of, maybe doesn't cause hallucinations like the Scarecrow's gas does, but maybe it puts people a little more on edge or a little more susceptible to psychotic episodes, maybe? I don't know. We don't really have any evidence one way or another about what this gas does. We just know that it is being sprayed. Now, the third time that we see this truck, Allie is across the street and she comes over and she sees them spraying in her yard, and she starts screaming at the dude and telling him to take his mask off because they're all wearing gas masks. And when his mask is removed, he's actually got a mask underneath that mask of the clown spray paint insignia that we see over and over again in the series. And then she faints, like a fainting goat. She just plops right over. Ivy lets Winter keep on being their babysitter for some ridiculous reason, and in the scene where she's told that she can keep being the babysitter, she has already invited somebody who she doesn't know into their home, who turns out to be this naked dude jacking off in their living room. Now, he's responded to an ad that he saw online, inviting people to come over to their house and let themselves in so that they can have a 3-way with a lesbian couple. And every time that the moms get these taken down, more of them pop up. Later on in the episode, Allie accuses Meadow of being behind it, and Meadow doesn't deny it, but she's also being accused of some other things that she does deny. So maybe it's them, but it could be literally anybody in this town since so many people are upset with her over what happened with Pedro. Allie calls Dr. Vincent, and he gives her some pretty decent advice, but throughout the whole scene, he starts off by playing with these 5 little smiley face pins that are sitting on his desk, and he's moving them around like he's playing a game or thinking out a strategy, like he's playing chess with himself or something. It was really weird. Through the rest of that scene, he's giving Allie sound advice, but he looks really ominous through every single shot. He looks like everything is going exactly how he wants it to, which is unsettling. So theories that have to do with him maybe being behind everything, I think, have a little bit more justification given this episode than they did before. If he's not behind everything, I think there's no question about whether he's involved or not at this point. Next, we find out that the neighbors had gotten Oz a guinea pig named Mr. Guinea to let everybody know exactly who they do and do not like in our mom's family. They call to ask them why they would do that, and Meadow and Harrison basically say a bunch of hateful things to Allie, and then they hang up on her. And in the same scene, Allie says a line that's straight out of Trump's book. He says this several times, but she says, "I'm the least racist person they've ever met." And that's a Trump line, and I think it's funny that they gave that line to Allie. We find out that the neighbors are friends with Ghost Hair Cop, which really connects another line as well. Both Meadow and Harrison have pinky promise sessions with Kai in this episode. During Meadows, Kai pretty much tells her that she needs to stop apologizing for things and find a way to blame somebody or something else for whatever it is she might be apologizing for, and that she's never going to get anywhere in life by apologizing all the time. The moms and Oz come home to realize that the smiley clown has been painted on their front door. When they walk into the house, they see that their microwave is on, and of course, Mr. Guinea is sitting inside that microwave, and he explodes right in front of all of them. It was so messed up. I knew he was going to die, but I didn't think it was going to happen that quickly. Rest in peace, Mr. Guinea. Allie runs over to the neighbor's house, walks in their front door, walks through their back door where they're tending to their bees, and she socks Harrison right in the face and tells them both that they need to leave them alone. She accuses them of being behind everything that's happening. The only thing that Meadow says she actually didn't do was kill Mr. Guinea. We also see the clown smiley faces painted on the outside of the neighbor's house, but Allie and Ivy don't tell them that because Allie's like, they probably painted it there themselves. Harrison and Kai have their own pinky promise session in which Harrison admits that he wants Meadow to die. And then in the next scene we see Oz's computer has been set to loop a video that was taken of Winter and Allie's bath time fun scene from episode 2. This is where we get the shot of Ivy smacking Allie because she feels like she's been cheated on. Then Ivy tries to leave, but before she can get to the door with Oz, they see cop lights outside. Then we see Harrison in his underwear screaming at the cops that he didn't do anything. He's covered in blood. He doesn't know where Meadow is, and then he accuses Allie of having done something to her. We then go inside their house and see that there is blood everywhere. Now, some interesting things about this episode. Allie and Ivy both say that they're going to kill somebody in this episode. So maybe Ivy's actually going to kill somebody later on down the line, just like Allie already has. I think that there's no doubt at this point whether the doctor is involved in everything or not. And I think that Allie really nutted up in this episode. She really showed that she is capable of facing her fears head on. If you want to have a discussion about this week's episode of American Horror Story, give me a comment down below and we'll talk about it. If you enjoyed this video at all, give me a big thumbs up and make sure to subscribe for more videos about nerdy things from me. Thank you so much for watching.